If you like storytime vibes, hit subscribe and let's dive in together.
That night, I didn't lose my wife. I lost my illusion of who she was. It all started with one kiss. Not the kind that happens in secret shadows, not whispered behind closed doors, but in the middle of a crowded room, under soft lights, where everyone could see. He kissed her, and she kissed him back. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the glass I was holding. I didn't demand an explanation. I simply watched the woman I loved turn into a stranger before my eyes. People talk about betrayal like a sudden storm, loud, violent, destructive, but mine was quiet. It arrived like a slow collapse inside my chest, silent, suffocating. I remember thinking how beautiful she looked that evening. The navy dress, her laughter like music, the way everyone gravitated toward her. For years, I thought her smile meant love. That night, I realized it was only performance. When the man from her office leaned in and kissed her, the air disappeared. Every sound, every heartbeat froze. And when she didn't pull away, I understood. That was the moment my marriage died. But what no one in that room knew, not even her, was that her little act of betrayal would not end with my silence. Because silence can be the loudest revenge of all. I said only 2 words that night. It's over. My voice was calm, almost too calm, slicing through the whispers around us. Her eyes widened, her face drained of color. He, the man who kissed her, stepped back like a coward, realizing too late what he'd done. She tried to speak, stumbling over half-formed excuses. It's not what it looks like. But every syllable sounded fake, even to her own ears. I left the room, not because I was weak, but because I refused to perform pain for an audience. Let them gossip. Let them whisper about how I walked away instead of fighting. Because I wasn't walking away from her. I was walking back to myself. Later that night, she came into the bedroom. Mascara streaked down her cheeks. She begged, "Please, I can fix this. I love you." I looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't see my wife. I saw a stranger wearing her face. "You didn't lose me tonight," I told her quietly. "You lost the man who would have forgiven you." She cried until morning. I didn't. Pain has a way of burning everything soft inside you until only steel remains. And when morning came, I wasn't a husband anymore. I was a man who had decided that his revenge would not be loud. It would be patient, poetic, and absolute. Days turned into weeks. She moved around the house like a ghost, quiet, hollow, desperate to undo what couldn't be undone. I didn't shout or blame. I simply existed beside her, cold and untouchable. The world around us began to whisper. Friends, family, colleagues, everyone knew. She wanted to save face. But how do you save something already shattered? I started sleeping in the guest room. She'd leave. Breakfast by the door, untouched. Every morning, her guilt hung heavier than the air. But what she didn't realize was I was already planning something. Not revenge in flames, but revenge in ice. I started documenting everything. Her messages, the timeline, the lies she told our friends. Piece by piece, I built a quiet truth. Not to expose, but to release. Then one day, she asked if we could try again. I smiled and said, "Of course. Let's start fresh." But deep down, I knew I was only giving her enough rope. Not to hang her, but to let her show the world who she truly was. Because revenge isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about revelation. Letting someone's own actions reveal their rot, slowly, beautifully, and beyond repair. We started fresh, or at least that's what she thought. I let her believe it. The dinners, the smiles, the small talks that used to mean something. But this time, I wasn't her husband. I was her mirror. Every lie she told, I reflected back with silence. Every half-truth she whispered to friends, I let hang in the air long enough for others to smell the rot. She thought she was rebuilding. I was simply standing back, watching her paint over cracks with false promises. Then came the company party. The same colleagues, the same crowd that had once witnessed her betrayal. She insisted I come, said it would show people we're fine. And I agreed, because revenge often requires a stage. That night, I watched her play the role of the perfect wife. She laughed too loud, touched my arm too often, smiled like forgiveness had erased the past. But I didn't have to do anything. Truth has a way of surfacing on its own. When her phone buzzed and that same man's name flashed on the screen, the people standing nearby saw it before she did. Silence rippled across the table. Eyes darted. The same eyes that once pitied me now turned toward her. Cold, judgmental, unmerciful. I didn't say a word. I just stood, nodded politely to our hosts, and walked out, leaving her behind to drown in whispers. Sometimes you don't need to destroy someone. You just let them reveal their own ruin. After that night, her world began to rot. Quietly, completely. Her friends stopped answering calls. Her coworkers avoided her in the hallways. And the man she'd ruined everything for? He vanished, as cowards do when the fun is over. I didn't need to post anything. I didn't expose her online. People did it for me. Because gossip spreads like wildfire when truth provides the spark. She begged again, but not for love this time. For mercy. She said she couldn't stand how everyone looked at her now, how whispers followed her wherever she went. I told her softly, "That's not people judging you. It's just your reflection echoing back." I started the divorce process soon after. No shouting, no fighting, just signatures. Neat, deliberate, final. She tried to stop me, said she would change, that we could move to another city, start over. But you can't rebuild trust with the same hands that destroyed it. When the papers were signed, she sat there staring at the table. A woman who had once sparkled, now dimmed into dust. And for the first time since that night, I felt peace. Not the kind that comes from victory, but from release. Because revenge, at its purest, isn't about hurting them. It's about healing yourself, so deeply that their memory can no longer touch you. It's been a year since that night. Sometimes I still see her name in old photos, mutual friends, updates, fragments of a past life. But it no longer hurts. It just reminds me. She lost everything trying to chase a spark that was never real. And me, I gained something priceless, clarity. People often ask if I regret not yelling, not destroying her publicly. I don't, because the cruelest revenge is not chaos. It's control. When you can look at the person who broke you and feel nothing, that's the moment you've truly won. Not because you made them suffer, but because they no longer have power over your soul. I've built my life again, slowly, quietly, beautifully. The walls of my new apartment hold no echoes of lies, only the calm rhythm of peace. Sometimes I pour myself a glass of wine, stand by the window, and watch the city lights flicker. And I think about that night, the night he kissed my wife in front of everyone. I thought it was the end, but it wasn't. It was the beginning of me.